and Jay-Z are monsters, and the victim-making machine kept going on.
To start off, we'll talk about the night that he stabbed someone named Lance Rivera.
He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away.
He said, and I got some names. He said some wild names, some names that will blow your mind.
Jay-Z is undeniably one of the biggest names in hip-hop. However, as he gained fame, various controversies and conspiracy theories have come to light. These include rumored connections to secret groups like the Illuminati and ties to some controversial figures in the music industry. Let's take a closer look at these allegations, particularly those suggesting he has manipulated the industry and his relationships with people like Diddy, as well as the darker theories regarding his rise to success. Jay-Z's career took off in the 1990s, and by the early 2000s, he had established himself as a leading figure in hip-hop. He co-founded Rockefeller Records, quickly becoming a major influence. His marriage to Beyoncé, 2008, marked the start of what many refer to as the era of the power couple, with both artists reaching the peak of their careers.
As a close friend of Jay-Z, what was your reaction to him opening up about his infidelities? Were you surprised?
No.
Did he put it out there?
No, I wasn't.
No.
I was surprised about Lemonade, but I wasn't surprised about, I mean, I just didn't see it coming. It was just like, I remember it was a Sunday and it was just like, whoa.
Right.
I think she's amazing. You know, most people walk away and like divorce rate is like 50% or something.
Beyonce and Jay-Z are without a doubt one of the music industry's biggest power couples. Their star power is undeniable, with both of the multi-Grammy award-winning artists dominating the charts ever since they launched their careers ages ago. They started a romantic relationship in 2001 and immediately hit it off, going on to collaborate with each other on several music projects during the early 2000s. They went public with their relationship in 2004, tied the knot in an intimate private wedding, and the world has been watching as they built this beautiful family together. And while they've been crazy in love, drunk in love, you name it, their love story does have quite a few hiccups.
During this period, theories began to surface linking Jay-Z and Beyoncé to the Illuminati. Many observers noted the frequent appearance of triangle symbols in Jay-Z's public image and music, suggesting these might be signs of his allegiance to the secret society.
You might know the year 1776. It's kind of an important year. It's the year when the United States gained its independence from Great Britain, but it's also known for something else. The year a secret society known as the Illuminati was founded by a Bavarian law professor. Coincidence? Since then, rumors, speculation, and full-fledged conspiracy theories about the Illuminati have been a consistent part of American life. But more recently, Illuminati talk has resurfaced as a pop culture phenomenon, with many people searching for Illuminati symbols in the work of the entertainment industry's elite artists, people like Jay-Z, Lady Gaga. So, what's the reason for all this Illuminati talk? You've commented a lot on Jay-Z and how he uses particular types of symbols. You've talked on NPR, you talked about his keen grasp of esoterica.
Yes.
What's going on here?
Jay-Z has responded to these rumors through his lyrics, especially in his song Freemason, where he dismisses the claims as baseless. However, the theories continue to circulate, with some fans still looking for hidden meanings in his music and public appearances. Beyoncé has also addressed these rumors, calling them ridiculous, yet the intrigue surrounding their alleged secret connections endures. Some people even suggest that the extraordinary success of the Carters was destined by higher forces.
Jay-Z has an understanding of the magnetic power of some of these symbols, the pentagram, the eye in the pyramid, the obelisk, and he uses them as an artist, but people spin out all kinds of conspiracy theories from there.
Help me understand that. You talked about the eye, you talked about the obelisk. All of these things are symbols, icons,
yes,
not just of American pop culture now, but historically, the Egyptological symbols,
that's
the obelisk needle, for example. All of these things are quite interesting. What's the connection?
These things all have deep historical roots, but they were popularized in the modern world by Freemasonry. The Illuminati as an organization existed kind of at the fringe margins of Freemasonry, and they were very attached to these symbols because they believed they communicated something about a universal search for meaning. There were many of the founding fathers, including Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Hancock, who also found these symbols appealing, and they imbued our currency and the design of our capital with some of these symbols. There was a great idealism behind them, not a conspiracy.
So when I'm looking on the back of a dollar bill and I see the Eye of Horus,
yeah,
I shouldn't assume necessarily that the founding fathers were involved in some deep conspiracy. They may just have found it interesting.
Exactly.
To see an all-seeing eye.
Exactly. They commissioned that symbol as part of the national seal on July 4th, 1776, and it was an attempt to associate the New Republic with the other great civilizations of the past, including ancient Egypt.
Here are some lyrics from his recent collaborations. One he did with Rick Ross on the song Freemason, as you just pointed out. Jay-Z sort of rebuffed the idea that he was a member of these secret organizations. I said I was a Mason, not that I'm a Mason. And then on more recent song, Devil Is a Lie, on Rick Ross's new album, Mastermind, he says, am I down with the devil because my roof come up missing? Is that Lucifer juice in that 2-cup he's sipping? That's Duce, baby, welcome to the dark side. Sort of speaking to this idea, ironically, to some extent, that his success is being linked to membership in some secret organization as opposed to what everyone else is successful for, hard work and luck and sweat and all those other things. Rahel, what does it mean for someone like Jay-Z to engage and address those who believe he's part of the Illuminati?
Well, I think that's a good starting point. I think where your question gets at is, why would Jay-Z do it? And then the other side of that question would be, why do people assume that he's in the Illuminati even when he may not be wearing that identifier? I think a possible response to the question of why he would do it is, I think in hip hop and cultural production in general, you have this obsession and focus on good and evil.
Jay-Z's close ties with certain high-profile figures, particularly Diddy, who is currently facing serious criminal allegations, have drawn scrutiny. Many are questioning the nature of their long-standing friendship, speculating that Jay-Z might have been aware of Diddy's alleged wrongdoing given their history. The two have been close for decades, frequently appearing together at industry events and collaborating on various projects. Critics have pointed out Jay-Z's silence regarding Diddy's legal issues, with some including 50 Cent, suggesting that those who don't speak up may have something to hide.
But the only thing I'm interested in him talking about is everything he knows about Kathy Coriana White. See, I know you know what happened to Corey. Diddy, I know that. You and Jay-Z down in Vegas at Tao with Claudia. Why don't you just talk about Kathy? That might help. That might help a lot.
I would say, if those who don't know who Kathy is.
Kathy Coriana White, Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died 24 hours after she announced that she was going public with their relationship and the baby while he was married to Beyonce. Was it an aneurysm, Diddy? Or are you the one who paid the same coroner that you... Oh, Diddy, you should talk.
Do you feel the federal government will probably speak to Jay-Z in regards?
They already have.
Oh.
They talked to him before he made that Super Bowl announcement. Isn't that interesting? He was questioned by the feds before he made the Super Bowl announcement. Blink twice.
Jay-Z's collaborations with R. Kelly in the early 2000s have continued to cast a shadow over his career. R. Kelly's infamous relationship with the underage singer Aaliyah was an open secret in the industry, leading many to question why Jay-Z chose to work with him despite the obvious warning signs. Dame Dash, a former co-founder of Rousey A. Fella Records and Aaliyah's ex-boyfriend, publicly criticized Jay-Z for his connection to Kelly, especially in light of the serious nature of Kelly's crimes. Although Jay-Z eventually severed ties with Kelly, speculation about what he may have known regarding the singer's actions lingers.
Now, I bet you want to know why Jay-Z and Beyonce's name keep popping up around the whole Diddy thing. Well, that's why I'm here. Now, first thing you gotta know is when somebody like Diddy gets taken down, things always start out as a rumor. Diddy has had rumors floating around for like decades. Well, Jay-Z had a problem. He right there in the corner, by the way. Jay-Z has had a few rumors himself, but more like speculation. People see Jay-Z in a picture of R. Kelly, they're like, I guess they both make music. Then Jay-Z with Harvey Weinstein. People are like, I guess they both do business. Then, of course, Jay-Z with Diddy. Now, hold on. Here's the thing. Jay-Z and Diddy go way back. Like back to the days when they were both coming up. So you could say they might just have a lot of respect for each other. But on the other hand, people are like, well, if you've known each other that long, Jay-Z, you must have known what Diddy was on. But Jay-Z has always had a history of keeping quiet, which brings us to Aaliyah. Now, I'm sure y'all remember R. Kelly dated Aaliyah when she literally needed her parents' permission slip to get married. Now, if I remember correctly, her parents got the permission slip and said, marry who? And that's how this whole thing got exposed. Now, a lot of people in the industry actually knew about this relationship because they would work with R. Kelly. They would be in the studio with R. Kelly. Now, according to Dame Dash, who listened closely, was Jay-Z's first business partner and also dated Aaliyah when she was 21. He said this is how it went. He said he didn't want anything to do with R. Kelly because everyone knew what type of timing R. Kelly was on. He looks over at Jay-Z and Jay-Z's out here creating collab albums with R. Kelly. But then he saw why. For starters, everyone had a crush on Aaliyah. People were waiting down the clock until she turned 18. But Jay-Z decided to get a head start. Now, there was absolutely no proof that Jay-Z went after Aaliyah, but people were like, let me see another picture. But apparently Jay-Z wasn't successful and Dame Dash started dating her when she was 21. Now, what does this all have to do with Diddy? It's the secrets. It's the, like what happened to Diddy, making people wonder. Nas came out, well, he technically didn't come out and say this, but while he was having his legendary beef with Jay-Z, he's doing a radio interview and he's saying, it's weird that Jay-Z be working with people that need a permission slip to marry somebody, R. Kelly. But again, rumors, kind of like what was happening to Diddy. But then this lawyer comes out and says, boy, do I got some news for y'all. And here's where it starts to get wicked. Now, he's going after Diddy. Specifically, listen closely, anyone that Diddy might have done something to, or anyone who has watched Diddy do some of these things and stayed silent.
One of the more unsettling theories surrounding Jay-Z relates to the tragic death of R&B singer Aaliyah in 2001. Some conspiracy theorists suggest that her untimely passing in a plane crash may have inadvertently benefited Jay-Z and Beyonce, allowing for Beyonce's rise as a solo artist. Dame Dash has hinted that certain industry figures might have gained from Aaliyah's death, although he has never directly accused Jay-Z of wrongdoing. While these claims are largely speculative and lack solid evidence, they continue to circulate, particularly given Jay-Z's known interest in Aaliyah during her lifetime.
I think it's time for us to address the elephant in the room.
R. Kelly was the first corporately sponsored pedophile. Everybody knew.
Once it came out on R. Kelly, Jay-Z fled the scene.
Point was, he knew all the time.
For 20 years, Jay-Z refused to speak out against R. Kelly, but his former partner, Dame Dash, won't stay silent.
Aaliyah is key to everything. Aaliyah and I were very serious. We talked about getting married, so I knew exactly what went on.
She would be like, no, that's a bad man.
R. Kelly did indeed marry his protege, the 15-year-old singer Aaliyah Houghton.
Like, Aaliyah was like the sacrificial lamb for all that.
22-year-old rising star Aaliyah has been killed in a horrific plane crash.
It's a pain that you couldn't understand.
It changed you, turned you into a monster.
When Dame was at his lowest, Jay committed the ultimate betrayal.
I had so much trust in my brother, but he did things that I thought he would never do. So what you think I felt all these years?
For 20 years, R. Kelly's power protected him.
At that time, we did not look hard enough.
Remember Aaliyah's album cover?
Age ain't nothing but a number. Sitting back there like Perv Master.
I mean, I wasn't there. I ain't have nothing to do with that.
They made a song together called Not Guilty. Anybody that knows what happened to my girl that with me should not be with homie, period.
Tell me about the relationship with Jay-Z. You and Jay-Z formed Rockefeller Records in the 90s. Are you and Jay-Z still friends?
Well, but there's been things where he's been in business with people that are against my honor code. So because of that, I kind of have to keep a distance.
As you hear all this other stuff in the news with R. Kelly, how does that make you feel about him?
I was just shocked at how long he got away with it. How many people turned and looked the other way. How many people were still, involved with him in any kind of way, knowing all those things.
Before R. Kelly, Dame and Jay were inseparable as they built an empire together.
You've been with Jay-Z since the beginning, right? So,
for about 10, 15.
Jay-Z's early years also include allegations of violence and legal troubles. In 1999, he was arrested for allegedly stabbing record producer Lance Rivera, whom Jay-Z accused of leaking his album Volume 3, The Life and Times of S. Carter. Witnesses at the scene claim Rivera identified Jay-Z as his attacker, though Rivera later recanted, saying Jay-Z did not stab him directly. Ultimately, Jay-Z pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of third-degree assault, serving 3 years on probation.
Start off, we'll talk about the night that he stabbed someone named Lance Rivera. And it seems like Jay-Z tried to ruin this guy's career. He was a business partner of the notorious B.I.G. and was stabbed in the stomach and shoulder back in December 1999. The stabbing is alleged to have occurred after Jay-Z confronted Lance over reports that he had leaked his third studio album. And you guys know leaking music is a big deal. These artists spend months making these albums, and then once they're leaked, they lose a lot of the profit. Jay-Z was charged for the attack and turned himself into the police the following day, after initially pleading not guilty and denying any wrongdoing. In October 2001, he pleaded guilty to third-degree assault and was sentenced to 3 years probation. Here's a scan of Jay-Z's mugshot profile, and as you can see, that is Jay-Z in the mugshot, and he doesn't look happy.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night.
So this all went down at the Kit Kat Club, which is no longer around, but it was the hot spot in New York, and it became a crime scene.
Once inside, he had a confrontation with record producer Lance Rivera. Cops say the argument heated up during a party celebrating a new release by rapper Q-Tip. Jay-Z and his crew surrounded the 33-year-old Rivera and his 29-year-old brother Corey. Witnesses say that Jay-Z allegedly plunged a knife into Rivera's stomach and smashed a bottle over his brother's head before running out of the club.
So everybody at the scene clearly knew that Jay-Z was involved, and he was even quoted in court saying, "I stabbed Lance Rivera." Jay-Z did end up turning himself in. He had a bail of $50,000, which he was able to pay, so he got out a few hours later. A press conference with his lawyers labeled Jay-Z as an innocent man. Quote, "To think that this guy, who is as gentle as can be, has anything to do with this is crazy," end quote. And I don't know what's going on with Lance, but he actually came out and stated that Jay-Z in fact did not stab him. Lance recalls that night and claims that he was surrounded by 10 knives, a bunch of guys with all these knives in the club. The reporter asked him, "Was Jay-Z the one who stabbed you?" He laughs before responding, "No, Jay-Z was not the guy that actually stabbed me." That
The Carter's influence goes beyond just the music industry. It reaches into social media, fashion, and public opinion. Recently, Jaguar Wright, a former collaborator and outspoken critic, appeared on Piers Morgan Uncensored, where she reiterated her claims that Jay-Z manipulates people and exerts hidden influence. Shortly after her appearance, Jay-Z's legal team pressured the show to remove her statements from the broadcast, a move many view as an effort to silence criticism.
Profit deal, which means he's been working with the government all this time. When are people going to start asking how long Diddy and Jay-Z have been cooperating with the government as well? Everybody was cooperating with the feds but them? Doesn't make any sense. What I do know though is that everyone is starting to notice things that they didn't notice 15, 20 years ago. Suge isn't looking like the monster that everyone painted him out to be. And Diddy sure ain't no choir boy. The more we start to uncover things, we're starting to realize that whatever we've been led to believe, it's actually the exact opposite. Like I told you, you guys gotta talk to that girl Love Jones and talk about her times last summer on a Sprinter van, and where she was put in the van given a drink of DeLeon. She said it didn't feel like an alcohol high. It felt different. She felt tingled all over almost instantly. Y'all need to talk to her. Because she was partying with, I believe, Justin and Christian Combs. This was last summer. It's bittersweet. I'm just praying that they will keep him in, because I think that will give a lot of victims the courage to say and speak and come forward. But until they're good for it, I'm gonna keep doing it. The Jay-Z victims are gonna be worse. They're worse because of the psychological torture that comes along with what he does. Like I said,
do you think Jay-Z is scared right now?
oh, he's terrified. He's terrified. He's losing confidence everywhere. But the only confidence he's worried about keeping secure are those white boys that he worked for.
Although Wright's allegations have not been proven, her readiness to challenge Jay-Z publicly strikes a chord with an audience that is becoming more skeptical of celebrity power and secrecy. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. That's all for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more in-depth explorations of the stories shaping entertainment. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.